Imagine accessing thousands of dollars in cash without actually selling a single Satoshi of your Bitcoin holdings. In this video, I'll reveal the secret world of Bitcoin-backed lending that's allowing investors to have their cake and eat it too. Stay tuned to learn how you can unlock the full potential of your Bitcoin holdings without giving up ownership. So here is the interesting article that I've come across where it titles "The Renaissance of Bitcoin-backed Lending. Stack stats while putting them to work." So I made several videos on this anticipated topic where we are seeing a huge gap in the marketplace. It comes to a point where as the Bitcoin digital asset becomes more mainstream and growing resistance to let go of your Bitcoin holdings in order to reap some of its benefits in terms of profit taking, well, instead of having to sell off your Bitcoin holdings, there is that increasing demand in the marketplace to come up with some financial products or ways to actually hold on to your holdings whilst receiving a premium. And this is what this article pretends to explain. So it says that Bitcoin-backed lending is experiencing a resurgence driven by the growing demand, as I said earlier on, for liquidity without sacrificing long-term exposure to Bitcoin, and because of the potential tax advantages that loans offer for those who have seen their assets appreciate greatly. Both individuals and institutional borrowers are using these instruments more and more as a tool in their treasury management arsenal as Bitcoin becomes a staple in portfolios and investors are looking for more ways to benefit from their holdings. The popularity of these instruments grew as the Bitcoin price rose in 2024 and is set to accelerate into 2025. It says that the crypto lender Ledn saw $191 million worth of Bitcoin-backed loans. In just the first month of this year, 2025, Ledn has seen over $100 million in Bitcoin-backed loans. Bitcoin-backed lending is becoming one of the fastest growing digital finance opportunities on the market. For borrowers, it's a perfect way to unlock capital without having to part ways with their coins. And for individuals, Bitcoin-backed loans offer the opportunity to use the loans to buy real estate, start businesses, even pay debt, and much more. For institutions, on the other hand, it offers a unique way to hedge additional investments or even business ventures with a market depth and liquidity only offered by Bitcoin. I'm going to touch on two avenues where this type of solutions is being positioned right now. Now, you might have heard of DeFi, which is decentralized finance lending platforms that are mostly driven by smart contracts, eliminating the need for intermediaries. Now, I actually have delved into DeFi programming on the blockchain myself, and it's fair to say that it's completely managed by those private securities. So these are like unauthorized decentralized lending platforms who offer these kind of DeFi lending products. There is a handful that are starting to become more legalized and approved, but that's mostly within the realm of centralized finance, which I'll touch on next. So one of the major vulnerabilities that I see currently at the moment under DeFi is that provide these type of lending services through smart contracts, which could be open up to scrutiny, a lot of hacks and loopholes within them. So you're going to be very wary that this is still a concern across the crypto industry. But I suspect at some point, decentralized finance will become more secure. There's going to be more transparency brought into the domain, particularly where there is emerging regulations like digital assets framework that the US administration is currently contemplating to consumers who want to get involved in a DeFi lending space, but on a much better clarity, visibility and protection on the eyes of consumers. So there's still a heap of more work that needs to be done to improve the reputation of this DeFi lending platform lenders out there. The other way is, which is commonly more known approach, is through centralized platforms like Ledn. We also have many others like Binance, Coinbase, Crypto.com, and so on. These are more established players in the mainstream, precisely because it's centralized, right? It's no different from any centralized authority or institution out there, whether it's the bank or whether it's other institutional lender or insurer. This is no different. It's still centralized and actually controlled under the auspices of registered securities within the financial market. So they provide more established regulatory frameworks, even offering greater transparency and indeed security for the protection of consumers. So these are the two ways or avenues that is on offer to provide this Bitcoin-backed lending. And also one last point, which I have actually talked about in some of my earlier episodes in my channel, which is all the more reason why you ought to subscribe, is the notion around risk management. You need to do that legwork, that homework, no matter how painstaking it might be. But clearly, investing in these type of digital assets, that you're going to be in a position where you're going to be comfortable once you've chosen the right platform that suits your needs, that you're going to be comfortable to delegate your holdings to that third party on your behalf in order to generate, as I said before, that additional premium, that additional extra cash on the side. So this is all I want to talk about today. Just to wrap up, that this is indeed the growing trend that we are seeing, because there is that growing demand in the marketplace where Bitcoin holders such as yourself and I are kind of reluctant to part our Bitcoin holdings in order to reap the rewards in profit taking. I think this is going to become a growing need in the months and years to come as we are seeing Bitcoin embedded into the mainstream. So hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. If you have, please don't forget to hit the like button, to also share this video to other like-minded individuals, colleagues and friends. And if you haven't done so, to please subscribe to my channel, as I regularly publish interesting videos such as these, anything to do with Bitcoin, blockchain technology and the future of finance. So I'll see you next time.